Ladies and gents, Jujutsu Shenanigans has updated and dropped a huge update to uncover since the one on April 1st, and he added that one new cockroach character that loves the taste of iron. You know, the one that was kissing Yuta? On top of that, today's update is very big for the unemployed players in JJS since we got Ryu finalized, Yuta reworked, and of course the completed moveset of Kuro, which anyone can try out. And then we have smaller things on the side for other characters. However, I'm going to be checking out Kuro first, and then we'll be moving on to Yuta and probably Ryu. Alright, so we are on Kuro now, or also known as Black Death, which, by the way, just sounds absolutely horrifying. Now, for Kuro, he has 4 new mechanics that has been introduced to his character, which I will be going over as we showcase. So, for our first move, we have Festering Strikes. It's pretty much just a simple barrage with your Life Festering Blade. And if you probably noticed, and have a keen eye, you'll notice that there is a bar next to the opponent when we actually M1 them. And when we get it to the max, you can see that there comes bugs, or, well, insects out of the character, just like when he was fighting Yuta. Now, I was pretty hasty and used the move already, but for our second move we have Detach, and what you'll notice is that we throw away our arm, you see as it's gone, with the Life Festering Blade, and the reuse is Reattach, which gets people back. Now this has an air variant as well, which allows you to pretty much just throw it anywhere if you would like to. It's pretty fun. And I'm assuming you could probably do some pretty cool stuff with Now for our third move we have Chokehold, and the interesting thing with this is that it actually uses the bottom set of your arms instead of the top ones. And what this means is that you could realistically M1 and use Chokehold in the middle of it. Now I'm gonna be completely honest, I don't see how this would be efficient, but maybe it would create some fun, interesting combos. I'm very unsure. For our fourth move, we have Roach Swarm, and what it basically does is just kind of throws out like a swarm of roaches, pretty much as it sounds like, but it has an air variant where we kind of slide in the air, and it has an R variant as well, where we basically throw out 2 Roach Swarms and throw them up into the air to the opponent. Now, I don't think this is blockable. I've kind of tried it with others, and it doesn't seem to be blockable, so that's a pretty OP move actually. Now I forgot to mention this, but if you detach your arm and then you use Festering Strikes, it'll be a barrage with your fists rather than the normal one, which is with your Life Festering Blade. Pretty cool. For the R special of Kuro, you'll see that we spawned these bugs that was targeting Yuta in the anime. And now I don't have anybody to use this on, but if they do happen to hit one of these bugs, what it'll do is it'll blind their screen with some of this green goo. So if I click R, then reuse it while aiming, it'll target the dummy, and if he hits them, it'll create some green goo which on their screen blinds them. Not entirely, but very similar to the ink in Mario Kart if you know what that is, while it at the same time also seems to stun you. Now, Kuro has a pretty interesting passive which goes on for low players, but before I use it, I'm gonna just turn on my cooldowns, and I'm gonna use some of my moves so you guys could see what I'm actually talking about. But let's say you have a bunch of these moves on cooldown. Now, when you kill this person and down slam them, you'll see that we start eating them, and when we're finished, all our moves get their cooldowns gone. So, practically, if you just finish a person with a down slam, you could basically just use all of the moves again, free of cooldown. Now for the awakening everybody has been waiting for, we have Parthenogenesis, and just like in the anime, what it does is it basically creates an identical copy of us, basically our offspring. And if we do it again, we will create the double amount. Now, what they have done is that they've actually nerfed this. Yesterday, you would be able to get about 16 clones, but since it used to lag so badly in public servers, I'm pretty sure they nerfed it completely, and this guy is standing on my head. Now, the interesting thing with this clone is that if you get these bugs out, and then you actually target it on a dummy or other players, it will probably be, and you M1, it will M1 for you. And the interesting thing with this is that it will actually not do your moves, as we can see, unless we hold F and then click the move, then it'll do it for us. As you probably noticed as well, these insects are pretty much the key thing here at the targeting, at least what it seems like, because once they disappear, he'll come running straight back to us if you look closely. You see, now he runs back to us. But the other neat thing is that he actually doesn't share the same cooldowns with us, which is really amazing. So you could basically use a detach, get it back, and then I could use a detach and get it back. Though he has his own cooldowns regardless, so you can't spam it. Now, if you don't feel like spawning a bunch of clones of yourself, or you have the max amount of clones, what you could do is just use the Awakening variant, which is G plus R, just like the Goja 0.2 domain, and as you can see, it creates this tornado, and it just looks amazing. Now, the last interesting thing with Kuro here, and you might be able to guess it already since my friend is domaining here, is that you can actually invade domains if you use your Awakening against it. And what this essentially does is that it literally just breaks the domain instantly, which is absolutely crazy. Now for the Yuta rework, as you can see, he's got an entirely different kit. Now his first moves are actually the same, Severing Path and Resolute Slash, but they work completely different, regardless if they're called the same. Now for Rika, there's actually nothing really different. You'll see that Rika Throw actually got removed. They even made a whole grave and ceremony for it. However, Rika Smash is a little different now and looks a little bit more like the anime, if I'm not wrong. But everything else works the same, and everything now shares the same cooldown, so you can't use one move and then directly another, which is actually a pretty good balancing system. Now for the actual moves themselves, now we have Severing Path, which kind of works the same way, but instead of where you can combo extend at the end, it actually just throws up the person at the end. For Resolute Slash, it says use again, and the neat thing with this is that if you use it once, it won't really do much, and it doesn't seem like it stuns the person either. But if you click it twice, it will do a Black Flash now. So Yuta actually does have a Black Flash in his base move set compared to what it was before. Now for third move, we have Outburst, which is the new one where you can hold it, but if we don't hold it, we just click it once. It's kind of like a star that kind of spawns, and it does really tiny bits of damage. However, you can hold it and you can do way more damage at the cost of potentially being intercepted during it. But I would rather do the actual long variant than the short variant. I also completely forgot to mention, but with Yuta's third move, you can actually parry projectiles. Now, I'm not completely sure if you can, like, for instance, parry M1s. I know you can parry against Kuro, and we also saw that you could parry Mahito's second move, I believe it is, the one with the transfigured humans where you shoot them away. But essentially, if you want to parry, if you feel like you want to parry with a character and you feel like, hey, I want to go out of Deep Woken, I want to be a parry god, Yuta might just be for you. For fourth move, we have Second Wind, and what this basically just does is that you kind of saw, it's kind of like the old third move we had before with Yuta, but the interesting thing with this is that if you actually do miss it, you can use it again, and it'll grab the person. So, pretty interesting. You can still get the person if you do fail, but it doesn't seem like it works with uppercuts. Oh, no, it does. It definitely does. For Yuta's ultimate, you can now see that there's a completely new awakening animation, and we get this new robotic arm that we even saw in that anime, which I really like the detail on. They did a really good job on this. Now, most of the moves actually do look the same. You can see like Elbow Rush, Copy, Authentic Love, but there is a different one called Energy Ripple, and on top of that, we now have in Rika's moveset a Copy Wheel, and the True Love Beam is actually here now. For first move, we have an Elbow Rush. There's nothing really different. We've all seen this, so nothing has changed with this. I don't know if they will change it in the future, but for now, it looks the same. Copy also works the exact same way, nothing different. However, now our M1s, as you see, are kind of like melee based, so we're not actually using our sword at all. Now, I don't know if this does any more damage. If anybody could let me know, that would be amazing. But it was basically a replacement to the sword now. Now, for our third move, we have Energy Ripple, and you can already see all the collateral damage I've been doing trying to figure this out. But if you use it once, it'll basically do this kind of like barrier expanding move where we put our sword into the ground, and then it explodes, and it does a lot of collateral damage here. Now, if you instead like to use the second variant, where, as I would like to do, is spam 3, it'll do this variant instead where it practically does a delayed hit, where you hit them once, and then it delays the hit and explodes them at the end. Now, unfortunately, Yuta doesn't seem like the combo extender god that he used to be, But he still seems pretty good, and I'm pretty sure that somebody will find a stupid way to do a 100% combo until the next balance changes. Now for Rika's moveset, as we can see, like I mentioned before, we now have the true love beam in her moveset, and it practically works exactly the same way. It remains unchanged, however the only changes is that it's in her moveset rather than our own awakening moveset now. Now for the copy wheel, you can see it works practically as a copy wheel should, but what it does is that it stores all the techniques that you've actually gotten while you've been playing. And now if you do die, you lose all of the techniques that you've gotten, but the way that it works is that you just hit somebody with Rika in your awakening form and it stores a new technique here. Meanwhile, if you're actually in your base form, you have to kill them with Rika to actually store that technique. Now with the path that the developers on JJS are taking, I'm actually enjoying this copy wheel or this reworked Yuta overall a ton. And I'm liking the creative decisions they are making, so I'm excited for the future updates they're gonna make on this guy. Now for our last character, we have Ryu, and Ryu hasn't actually changed that much besides getting his last ultimate move and getting a new ultimate special. If I real quick just get this, and then we ult. Now, as you see, we have a new move called You Are Invited, and it's a holding move. And what this practically is that you just hold it, and when you get it to max, it does about maybe 40% of damage. Now, I personally thought that this was going to be a one-shot move, and I thought that TZE actually confirmed that it was going to be a one-shot move if you held it, but maybe I'm just wrong. On top of that, we also have different changes to the moves now, and as you see, when we use some moves, we're actually getting damage from our own moves on the top right. However, at the cost of this, the new special actually regens us and regens a little bit of our awakening bar. But if we use the R move, you'll see, if we both check at the health bar and the awakening bar, you'll see that we get it up again. And now of course I have no cooldown, so I can just spam this, but it's a pretty OP change. And on top of that, he's kind of like a stronger Hakari at this point, at least in my opinion, you know. Another interesting thing is that if you have a person on the other side of, for example, a wall, and you use the You Weren't Invited, you're actually gonna throw the wall away, and look at that. Created an entire hole, and it even went through the holes on the other buildings as well. This is very cool, and you could actually just technically push people out of the map with this. Now I don't know if you can burst out of this or whatever, haven't tested it out, but overall that's just an OP thing, and it'll probably be OP when you're fighting other teamers as well. Honestly, it's a really good change that they were doing. But I can push domains. Oh my god, what? You can push domains? Wait, that's crazy. So you could literally just push them out of the map, no? Dude. Oh, their domain is there. Now, without a further ado, I think we should hop into some public servers and see how they're doing. Now, the game did update at about like 11 PM for me, which is why I didn't record earlier. But apparently then it was absolutely chaos. However, I don't know about now. Maybe there's people spamming clones. Maybe there's people spamming tornadoes. I don't know, but let's see. Alright, so here we are. We are in some public servers. Let's see. Who could we fight first? You, come here. Look at that. That's beautiful. And he got the box on him. Look at that. Boom. We used the R. Never mind, I missed that. Chokehold. Perfect. We're gonna use this. Oh, look at that. Look at that combo. Dude, Kuro's OP. Look at that, bro. And now we do a down slam. Oh, never mind. Wait. There you go. Give me my cooldown set. Perfect. And look at here. Let's get my first clone going on in here. Also, the server is a little bit laggy already without me even popping some clones. So I don't know how this will work out when we get 2 more. Oh, come on. Oh, look at that. Yo, we're cooking with it. Yo! Kuro's OP. Look at that. Oh, and he turned into a skeleton. Aw, dude, Kuro's actual clones are OP. This is beautiful. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Entire server using Kuro. Oh, this is beautiful. This is actually beautiful. What is happening over there? Dude, there's too much going on. And you know, I'm gonna use my tornado. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh my god. Oh my god, this is so OP. Dude, Kuro is just stupidly OP. He's just going bonkers everywhere. You know what? Let's invade this domain. Oh my god. I just absolutely invaded it and just destroyed it. I mean, we're actually invading it. Yes! This is beautiful. Oh my god. Oh my god. Dude, this is... No, he's absolutely in distraught. This little kind gentleman here just taught me that apparently you can use 1+R, which I never knew. Where you throw up the sword and then you start barraging them. And then, of course, you can also use this. You can block and use 3, which is just absolutely crazy. Kuro is just absolutely OP of a character to let go at the moment. Oh no. Dude, there's 2 tornadoes going on. Dude, he pushed me into the other one and I died. What? Look at that. Oh my god. Yo, it's just absolutely OP. No way. Dude, it's absolutely lagging too much in here. I think I should switch the server as a matter of fact. Anyways, that was pretty much it for this entire update. I actually enjoyed it a ton, and waiting a little bit longer since April 1st did actually kind of marinate this update, give more hopes and more excitement, and overall I'm very happy to have Kuro as a character. He's really cool, and on top of that he's really OP, and he does like servers, so I don't know if they're gonna actually optimize the servers anymore, but I'm not really gonna think about doing any Yuta video in public servers. So if you guys do like this video and you guys think that I should play Yuta next time or whenever the next update is, I should try the other characters as well, let me know in the comments below. Remember to subscribe if you do enjoy the video, and like it helps a ton. And without further ado, I'll see you guys in the next one.